Today I'm proud to introduce a new segment called Lovingly Remembered. At hospice, we recognize that there is no one right way to grieve. Some people need to be alone with their thoughts, while others have a strong desire to reflect on the life of their loved one, recall meaningful moments, and retell stories that celebrate the life of the deceased. Hospice of Washington County is pleased to offer our families the opportunity to honor their loved ones on Healing, Hope, and Health. At this time, it's my pleasure to welcome Peg Howard. Peg is here to honor Tom Howard, her husband of 59 years, and to celebrate his life through recollections, stories, and photos. Welcome. I'm so glad you could be here, Peg.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
So you were married for 59 years.
59
Can you tell us a little bit about how you first met?
Well, I met my husband. I was in nursing school and I was taking care of his mother. And we tell this story two different ways, but my way is the right way. Anyway, I met my husband when I was his mother's nurse.
Oh, that's
and it was a very special, he was a very special son and a very special husband.
That's great. And was Tom in the military?
He had been in the Army, and he enlisted when he graduated from high school and had spent a couple years in the Philippines. And when he came home, he went to college at St. Joseph's in Philadelphia.
And he graduated from there?
Yes, he did.
Okay.
Yes.
And so you were married and then you had a family. Tell us a little bit about your family and what your family life was like.
Well, we had a family. We had 9 children. We had 7 girls and then 2 boys. And my husband loved his girls. He was a feminist long before it was a popular thing to be. And he always thought his girls could be anything they wanted to be. And he raised them to, we used to have spelling bees at dinner time and debates. And then after that, then they would wrestle. So they got toughened up by doing that. He coached basketball for the girls. And when the last 2 were boys and they came along, he was right there with them doing, being there with them and encouraging them and teaching them. So he was a good dad.
That's terrific. So was Tom, like many men of his generation, did he have expectations of women, or was he chauvinistic in any way? Or
no, he was way ahead of himself, way ahead of everybody else. He would give the kids baths and wash their hair, and then he would come downstairs and cook. And he used to do a special breakfast on Sunday called, well, we used to call it Daddy Howard breakfast. Then when the grandkids came, it was Pop Howard breakfast on Sunday mornings. Very special, scrappled bacon, eggs, toast, you name it.
Potatoes, the whole works.
Potato. Oh yes, Pop Howard potatoes.
So what was the sort of activities that you all enjoyed doing together?
Well, raising a family, and we enjoyed church activities. We were always involved in our Catholic church family. We belonged to a group called the Pilgrim Community Catholic Church in the Annapolis area. We enjoyed exercise programs and
visiting grandchildren, traveling.
Yeah, grandchildren and family, cooking meals, and having picnics. We were busy.
Did you have a big celebration on your 50th anniversary?
We did have a big celebration on our 50th anniversary. My husband asked me what I wanted as a present for my 50th anniversary, and I said I wanted to do the tango with a sexy man. And he said, "That's it?" And I said, "Yes." And I have somebody. He said, "I can't tango." I said, "I happen to have somebody who will teach us."
That's great.
So for our 50th anniversary, we did the tango.
You took lessons and then did the
We
tango.
did.
That's
we
terrific.
did. It was great.
How does it feel to talk about Tom's story? Is this something that gives you joy and
Oh,
pleasure?
I love talking about Tom. I do it whenever I can, but then I talk to him too. When I'm at home by myself, I say, well, what do you think of this, or what do you think of that? And then sometimes I get mad because he's not there.
Right. Well, Peg, thank you so much for being here. I'd like to thank Peg for sharing Tom's story with us. For most of us, grieving is not a linear process. It's a circle, it circles around, and we get to do it all over again, and maybe with a little more understanding each time. I'm hoping that, like Peg, your wonderful memories will sustain you and provide great comfort and joy all the days of your life. If you would like to honor your loved one on Healing, Hope, and Health, please contact Hospice of Washington County. We'll see you next time.
Looking through the lens, I see you smiling there. I take a photograph